Hey everyone, this is the Tell the Truth radio show. I'm your host, Ron Fish. I'm going to tell you the truth about the big Brady versus Mahomes matchup. And I'm also going to talk about the rest of the NFL and different things I've noticed in the comings and goings of the NFL. But first, we're going to talk about the big Brady versus Mahomes game. And it started out not so good for the Buccaneers and Tom Brady. They took a quick 17-0 lead. It was 10-0 on a 75-yard pass from Patrick Mahomes to Tyreek Hill. This pass, when he went back to pass and he threw the deep ball to Tyreek Hill, this ball was sensational. This was just a beautiful play. Watching and Tyreek Hill, what he does, and I noticed this is one of his patented routes where he'll be on one side and he takes off. It's still just a straight go route. He'll run, he'll be on the left side, and he'll veer toward the right sideline in a burst of speed, and he destroyed the backup cornerback all game long. They picked on him. Tampa never adjusted. So he beat him on a 75-yard touchdown pass. Then the next touchdown pass, 44-yard touchdown pass, Mahomes kind of flicked it. Mahomes could throw the football without, a lot of quarterbacks have to use their hips and their shoulders to make that good throw. Mahomes takes his right arm, just flicks it. He flicked the 44-yard touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill. He does a little somersault afterwards. Then they're driving to make it 24-0. If they make it 24-0, it'd have been a runaway. It'd have been another Tampa Bay blowout like when the Saints blew them out. But they got a turnover. They came down and scored a beautiful touchdown. Ronald Jones tiptoed on the sideline, 17-7. And when you see that, I'm thinking, oh, okay, this could be a Brady comeback. Every time the Buccaneers scored a big touchdown, Kansas City answered. They answered with a field goal and a half. Every time. Their Tampa Bay defense makes some plays, but they're not clutch. Then the Tampa Bay drives down the field, big play by Gronk, but they don't score a touchdown. It was big. They don't make it 20-14. They can't get within arm's length in the third quarter. They can't get a field goal. Okay, now they need to stop here, 20-10. You got to get a stop. Get this ball back to Brady. They don't. And they move right down the field. And Tyreek Hill, 20-yard pass from Mahomes. They picked on that poor cornerback all game long. And then after a couple of bad interceptions by Brady, one went off a helmet into the arms of the Honey Badger. They finally score a touchdown. He got going. They got two scores. So he throws two touchdowns, and they score after not being able to score. So it's now 27-24, and Kansas City ran the 4-minute drill, and that was the end of the game. And that's what you cannot have. If you're trying to beat Kansas City, you can't have Mahomes with the ball with a chance to finish you, with a chance to win the game or a chance to put the game away. He's going to win the game or he's going to put the game away. And he did with his runs and his passes to Tyreek Hill. But one thing I know, Tampa's defense is not clutch because they had a chance to get Kansas City off the field to give extra possession to Tampa, and they didn't because Pierre-Paul's penalty. It was always a little breakdowns. They're trying to blitz Mahomes. So it's one-on-one with that backup corner. And it was Tyreek Hill all game long. Mahomes had over 350 yards in the first half. Mahomes ended up with 462 yards and 124.7 passer rating, 3 touchdowns. And they didn't really need the running game. Brady had 345, 3 touchdowns, and 2 bad interceptions. He was 96 rating. And he's older. He's going to he made some good throws. He made some bad throws. His deep ball sometimes doesn't have enough zip on it. His intermediate throws are solid, Brady. But Mahomes, he throws the most amazing balls. It's just he could pass on the run, off balance, accurately. He is special. And they're talking about with Kansas City's win, they're they're putting a ton of pressure on Pittsburgh to win against Baltimore. And Pittsburgh's schedule is become tough because you got Baltimore at home. You got a very difficult Washington game on short rest, a very hot Washington team that's going to have 10 days rest on a Sunday at 1 o'clock. That's a difficult chore for Pittsburgh. Then you got to go to a hot Buffalo. Then you get an easy one with Cincinnati, and then you get at Cleveland. What is that going to mean anything? So that's become that's not the easy schedule that the prognosticators say it is. It is not at all. So let's forget all that nonsense. But anyway, we were talking about the GOAT. I believe Mahomes stays healthy. He'll be the greatest quarterback of all time because he can do what Brady could do. He has the mental toughness Brady has. He makes the clutch plays that Brady does. He's more athletic. He could take better hits than Brady. And this is what helped Brady. He doesn't have to get 6 championship rings. I'm going to tell you why. 3 of those 6 championships came off of the Spygate era. Okay? With Belichick's filming the other players' practices, and they knew what the Rams were going to do in the Super Bowl. Then you had Deflategate. You had some type of gate. But Mahomes won 3 or 4 Super Bowls. Maybe he could win about 4. That's fine. I'm considering him the GOAT of greatest of all time, period. Over Montana and over Brady. If we're going to tell the truth, we talk about difficult conversations. Let's have a difficult conversation. Cheating helps. Ask the Astros. And you know I'm hard on that. And I'm unapologetic. I'll take any type of criticism. You can miss me. You can miss me with any type of cheating, please. Oh, it's not part of the game. Kill that noise. But, Spygate early in Brady's career helped. It did. He won 3 out of 4 championships aided by that. Well, you can, yes, I can say that because they took away the truth, because you got to go the facts. The facts is they took away draft picks over that. And then Belichick got caught again, I believe a year ago, the year before Cincinnati game. So that helps. But now, after that period in the early 2000s, Tom Brady put up some fantastic numbers. 207, he was outrageously good, even though they didn't win the Super Bowl. Then the comeback against Atlanta, now 28-3. So I'm not taking away from his greatness, but you mix that greatness in with the shenanigans. The shenanigans and the all-time greatness mix into one. Mahomes not going to have that. He's just going to play a regular football career, and wherever happens, happens. And if he wins multiple Super Bowls like I believe he will, win about 3 or 4 Super Bowls healthy, that's good enough for me. Forget what you hear on TV because they're going to talk about the 6 rings, but you can't poo-poo and just push away the shenanigans. When you have Spygate, when you win your first championship, knowing that the Rams are still upset over that, filming the Colts practices, knowing what Peyton Manning's going to do. Come on now. Now, afterwards, they did make a run, and they had 20 years of excellence. They are a disciplined team, even though they cheated. It's a twofold thing about New England, which is weird, because you have a disciplined, smart team, but you have the dirtbag element. It's and they factor that in there. So I'm gonna see how that goes. But Mahomes is 2-2 versus Brady, and he's well on his way to be the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. All right, here's the rest of the NFL. The Colts got slaughtered by Tennessee. Now, I called this for a Tennessee win. I predicted Tennessee to win, but not like this. I didn't know they were going to do this. Jeez. They won. And this is everything you want out of your team if you're a Titans fan. 45-26. They scored just about every time they touched the ball. Everybody got in their act. Tannehill was solid, 221 yards and a touchdown. Brown was great in 98 yards. He had that beautiful 69-yard run, uh, slant pattern where he caught it and just walked away from the secondary. With his size, it shows you his speed. It's unfair. Corey Davis is a great 1A quarter receiver. And this is the Titans in playoff mode. You know why the Titans are in playoff mode? Derrick Henry, the sledgehammer. This is his time of year. 27 carries, 178 yards, 7 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns. He had a 31-yard run. And it's his power. Yeah, okay. A lot of guys, there's a lot of big backs, but he's like Earl Campbell was because of his feet and his speed and his shiftiness, his ability to change directions quickly like a little running back. But he's a big guy, and you don't really want to tackle him. And the Colts, without their best run stoppers, because they did a good job on Henry, he didn't go completely crazy the last time. Without Buckner and Autry, I knew it was going to be a problem. I didn't know it was going to be this much of a problem. And Rivers was meh. Rivers could be really good, and Rivers could be meh. You got the meh Rivers, 24 42, 84 rating. He can play half his passes. I mean, he's pedestrian. They didn't have much of a running game. The Titans play solid defense. Now, the rest of the league, I love how Buffalo's playing. Buffalo wins by 10 against the Chargers. Giants are in first place now with a gutsy win. The Patriots are still hanging on with a win over the Cardinals, who are struggling. The Dolphins and the Cardinals are shooting themselves in the foot, making bad interceptions and missing easy field goals. Dolphins did what they had to do. And the Browns barely hung with the Jaguars. Saints took care of business against the Broncos, and the Packers destroyed the Bears. And you know what? Mitch Trubisky, it's funny. He had the same pass play that Mahomes did. Mahomes threw a sensational bomb to Tyreek Hill, but Trubisky tried to throw the same pass that Mahomes did, and it just stood up in the air and it fluttered like a duck, and it landed into the arms of the Green Bay Packer player. And that's the difference. You could tell the difference between quarterbacks when you're watching football all day long. You see that. The eye test will tell you that. And then the Rams got beat by the Niners at home. Goff was not so great. The Niners beat them up and was the better team that day. Goff was 1931, 198, 52 passer rating. All right, here's the mistake I have made. I can't trust 3 teams. Unfortunately, I can't trust the Raiders. I was big on them. They got annihilated by the Falcons. I can't trust the Rams. And I definitely can't trust the Cowboys. And I learned that this weekend. I learned my lesson this weekend to be careful with that. But those are teams I can't trust. And I'm going to put Arizona in there because they're still young and they're inexperienced. If you look at the playoff race, it's going to be interesting because, in the AFC, Pittsburgh, Kansas City are fighting for the home field. Pittsburgh is going to have to, at worst, they're going to only have to have 1 loss. It's a lot of pressure on them to keep winning. Kansas City did a good job with that. Tennessee is playoff Tennessee. Tennessee and Buffalo could knock off the top teams. They have the style. They have the quarter. Josh Allen, sometimes he can be reckless, but he's really good. And they're well coached, and they play good defense. And they're physical. Both teams are physical. They could upset the Chiefs and Steelers. The Chiefs and Steelers have bad days. There's no gimme going into the AFC. Even though Kansas City looks sensational offense, their defense is not that great. And Cleveland and Miami are hanging on, but, 1 bad loser streak, and that's it. Baltimore is on the outside looking in, but they'll let game out. Indianapolis has a tough schedule. I don't know what to think of Vegas. New England's still in at 5-6 because Miami and Indianapolis can implode in Cleveland. So they're still in play, not by much, but they're still in play. The Giants and Skins are going to fight in the AFC. They're going to fight for the that division. I don't trust the Cowboys. I don't think the Eagles are going to win another game. If the Giants are in a good spot, because the Giants win the division, they would play the Rams. I don't trust the Rams no more. The Rams go cross country to play the Giants in the Meadowlands. I would pick the Giants out of spite, just because I don't trust the Rams no more. I don't know what I'm going to get out of golf, and they're running it back by committee doesn't work for me. I believe Seattle will hang on and win that division. Arizona's not a gimme. If Arizona loses twice to the Rams, Minnesota could get that division. Minnesota caught fire. Minnesota should have beat the Cowboys and should have beat Seattle. They would be in complete control. But they're on fire. The Bears stink. I don't know if the Niners have enough. So there you have it with the NFL landscape. I'm going to give out the grades. My A team is Kansas City, New Orleans, Pittsburgh, and Tennessee is the A team. They have made the top of the list because I'm looking at playoff mode. After beating Baltimore and destroying Indianapolis, I'm seeing that they're kicking it into trying to get to the Super Bowl mode. Pittsburgh's undefeated. And Kansas City their offense is almost unstoppable. If they had a defensive performance, they wouldn't be of this earth. But their defense is average. But when you got Mahomes, maybe it doesn't even matter. Pittsburgh is the most complete team as far as offense and defense. And New Orleans is on that level where they have a great defense and great offense. So those are my team. The B-plus team is Buffalo. Buffalo, I'm on the verge of moving to an A area. I'm very impressed with Buffalo. I'm going to put Green Bay in B-plus. They have a good record. I don't trust them. And I would have put Cleveland at the B-plus, but they barely beat Jacksonville. Jacksonville could have really stole that game, but they are 8-3, so that's impressive. The B-minus is Baltimore. I see what how they're going to end their season. They have Pittsburgh, they have the Giants, they have the Cowboys. They're playing teams that are as desperate as they are. And then Tampa. And, I saw some good things out of Tampa's offense, and their defense was okay, but their defense is not clutch. When it came down to stopping the Rams and the Kansas City, they couldn't do it. I like teams that stop you in the end, and that's important. This is the college report here at Tell the Truth Sports Radio. I'm going to tell you the truth about what's going on in college. It's not particularly good. The haves are beating the brakes off the have-nots. And it's just the gap between the really top teams and the medium teams and the bottom teams are too big. And the Pac-12 is down. They're not any good. USC's okay. Oregon got beat by Oregon State. They're not great. The SEC has been so powerful, but the SEC is not great. The SEC usually carries the LSUs. You look for the LSU, Alabama, Arkansas was trying to be good, but they weren't. And you got Alabama and Florida. Vanderbilt's not any good. Missouri's not any good. Kentucky's down. Mississippi and Mississippi State could be good with their new coaches, with Kiffin and the Mississippi State coach. But LSU being down, losing players to COVID, and then players graduate. Georgia's not that good because they got the talent. I don't like the quarter. South Carolina is awful. Auburn's down. Auburn got annihilated by Alabama. Alabama beat them. And I want to just say this here. Can we give Mac Jones some credit? Mac Jones can play in the NFL. I understand all this phobia about Alabama quarterbacks. I'm trying to figure out where Tua is going to be. He's very accurate. I don't know how durable he's going to be physically. If he doesn't make it, Mac Jones will make it. Whoever needs a quarterback needs to go draft him. Whether you're the Lions, whether you're if you're not sure, the Cowboys with Dak, if you don't sign him, there's about 6 or 7 teams that's not going to get Trevor Lawrence that's looking for a quarterback. The Patriots, Mac Jones is your guy. Understand there's talent running rampant in Alabama with your line, with the running back, but this man can throw the football. His accuracy is something I noticed. He was 18 of 26, 302 yards, 5 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, 5 touchdown passes, okay? Najee Harris had 96 yards. They are humming. And I told you, Alabama's ruthless. They're not taking no prisoners. They're going to destroy LSU. They're going to go to LSU and destroy them. They're going to destroy Arkansas. And I believe and that's going to be a good matchup when they play Florida. But, you got McAtee, Billingsley, and Forstall as a tight end, and they got a nice receiving core. They lost their best receiver, but the show goes on as far as Alabama's concerned. This guy is outstanding. Mac Jones, 23 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Come on now. You got to give this guy credit. But the problem with college football is the gap is – now, I thought Northwestern was going to be pretty good, but Michigan State obsessed with Northwestern. And Michigan State ain't that great. And Michigan ain't any good, and Penn State is down. So this is just lousy. And then the Pac-12, like I said, Pac-12 down. The Big 12 is not any good. Texas is slightly above average. Tom Herman, how's that hire going? They're slightly above average. He's supposed to be this guy that's going to just bring Texas all these championships. Texas has one national championship in about 60 years. And that one national championship would never happen if Reggie Bush doesn't make that pitch on USC. And that's Texas in a nutshell. But the Big 12 is, meh. Oklahoma's okay, but if they got in, they would get annihilated by Clemson and Alabama or Ohio State. Ohio State has got to play some more games to be eligible to get in the playoffs. They'll set it up where they'll play enough games to get them in. The problem with college football is there's nothing left other than the playoffs. I'm just looking forward to Florida, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Clemson. And here's the deal. You got 6 teams that have a chance. Florida, Alabama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Texas A&M. I'm sorry, Texas A&M. 5 teams. Texas A&M has a hope that Alabama puts away Florida, puts them in their rearview mirror, and survives that. Clemson, that's just when you become the biggest Trevor Lawrence fan if you're an A&M guy. If Clemson annihilates Notre Dame is out. Texas A&M is the 4 seed. Ohio State's the 3 seed, and Clemson's the 2 seed. I believe Clemson's going to beat Notre Dame, but it's going to be a close game. I think Notre Dame is close enough where Texas A&M just not going to make it. They're going to be the odd man out. Notre Dame would be the 4 seed. Clemson would be the 2 seed. Ohio State would be the 3 seed, and they'll play each other again. You have Clemson and Ohio State again. Notre Dame versus Alabama, a rematch of a couple years ago. And I don't see it going that great. I don't think Alabama's going to annihilate them, but I think they beat them. But that's neither here nor there because there's a lot more college football to be played. But that's all you got to – let's tell the truth. That's all you got to look for. You're going to have non-discriminatory – I tell you what I am going to look for from just a competitive standpoint. If you could set up a bowl with Cincinnati and BYU, who's going to be undefeated, who's pretty good. Those are good teams. I would be interested in that. That'd be something that'd be a New Year's game. Sign me up with that. Texas A&M versus a team that's on the outside. Sign me up with that too. So there are some matchups, but the main matchup is Alabama, Florida, and SEC championship, and the ACC championship with Notre Dame and Clemson. That's what college football's come down to, unfortunately. All right, I wanted to talk about the Roy Jones Tyson fight. It was called a draw, but everybody knows that Tyson did put enough punches together to win. He went to the body well. I give Roy Jones a lot of credit. He took the punches. 8 rounds. He was trying. It was sad from the standpoint. I'm watching both these guys, and you could see little glimpses. I just wonder what would have happened if you got Superman Roy in 2002 versus a Tyson who still had some left when they were talking about making that fight after Roy beat Ruiz for the heavyweight title. And he wanted that fight, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out. That's when it would have been very interesting because you have Tyson with the power and Roy with the he was in his athletic prime. That would have been interesting. He wasn't, but he had enough guile to just survive. And he had some moments, but Tyson was solid. The problem was that really their thunder was stolen by Nate Robinson. He stole the night. Nate Robinson owned the night by talking junk and then getting slaughtered and knocked out cold to the point he might have been snoring on the canvas by Jake Paul. He even took Jake Paul's thunder because Jake Paul threw the punch, but Nate Robinson was the subject of so many memes and people who didn't even follow boxing was taking shots and having fun. It was just, he stole the spotlight from a potential Mike Tyson victory. So to me, now Roy might retire and say, hey, man, I finally lived my dream. I fought Tyson 8 rounds, But Tyson has got enough where he could fight another good exhibition. This is what I would do. You're not going to put him in with the heavyweight champ. And I don't want to see him fighting another old boxer, but I wouldn't mind him fighting the heavyweight champ, Sepi Miocic, and have the UFC heavyweight champ versus the former heavyweight great in an exhibition fight where there's knockouts allowed. And you just have them fight. That would be kind of cool. That's what I would love to see next. But Nate Robinson stole Roy Jones and Mike Tyson's thunder. He was the guy, unfortunately for him.